In life, we have opportunities to socialize, many opportunities, in fact. For we find that life is just an array of different experiences coming at us at different times, different epiphanies occurring, different synchronicities occurring that allow us to socialize with the people around us, to allow us to form connections. Socializing is a major focus during the days of September 14th and 15th of the astrology that I'm going to be discussing. And for every day that I talk about, I will always include an oracle card to add to the conversation, to add depth, to add a way for you to prescriptively work with these energies. And I'm happening to use the Mystical Shaman Oracle by Colette Baron Reed, Alberto Valaldo, and Marcelo Lobos today. So let's get that a little bit later. But let's first begin talking about September 14th. What do we have going on? Well, first of all, we have the moon coming into a sextile with Neptune. So the moon is in the sign of Capricorn at the very, very end of Capricorn, sextiling Neptune at the very end of Pisces. This energy is one that brings the heightening of sensitivity and emotions. You're feeling more emotional, you're feeling more sensitive. We can be more in touch with the feelings of others at this time. And you're also more in touch with your environment as well. Very, very sensitive to what goes on in your environment. Wanting your environment to be both peaceful and beautiful. This is an energy that is great for meditating, for getting into an altered state, for grounding yourself, for clearing your mind, and for connecting to the divine in a highly tuned way where your sense of sight is blocked. That way, you're opening up your third eye to your imagination. And you're putting yourself in a state of peace, in a state of bliss when you're meditating. This is great for any kind of dancing or music, anything artistic, anything creative. This is great for that. We can find that we're more loyal, we're more compassionate, we're more empathetic towards others at this time. We may feel in the mood for love and romance. Pisces is a very romantic, spiritual energy, which is the divine feminine. I like to think that Pisces rules the divine feminine in all of us. Remember that Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, and it has all the other signs of the zodiac combined within it. It's the two fish going in opposite directions that represents the interconnectedness of all that is. We may also feel more receptive to the needs of others at this time. That's another possibility here. We're also going to say that the moon is going to conjunct Pluto at the very end of Capricorn, at 29 degrees of Capricorn. This represents experiences that may trigger deep emotions that are buried deep into our subconscious. We have these experiences or we have these dreams that bring up these fears, these traumas, these dramas, these catastrophic events in our life that these dreams bring up, these experiences bring up. So for me, I had a dream the other night about flying on a plane, and I do have a fear of flying on a plane for two reasons. What if there's turbulence and there's the masks come down? But mainly because of the change of altitude. My ears are very sensitive parts of my body that I really don't want any harm or any instrument to come into them because while it looks small, it may feel monstrous. But the main thing is I have a fear of my ears popping on planes. So pay attention Be mindful of the feelings that come up during whatever you experience and what it may trigger. Maybe it may trigger the parts of you that you deny and disown. Who knows? There is your feelings when you're feeling things, you're feeling them very intensely, you're feeling them very dramatically, you're very feeling them strongly. You become obsessed with your feelings of desires, of things that you fixate on, of um what tomorrow can lead you in the making of your life. This can be feelings of I want this and I need this now. You know, you're very obsessive. Like for me, it's just the most ironic thing. What I become obsessed about is oracle cards. And they're supposed to be spiritual tools, which is ironic because it could be video games, it could be any number of things. It could be books, but it's oracle cards, tools for spiritual growth. And even that I've become obsessed about. And I have a number of oracle decks, the Native Spirit Oracle, the Whispers of the Ocean Oracle, um, the Keepers of the Light, the Star Seed. So all these oracle decks that I want, and I have become obsessed about these decks, really, really wanting them. But maybe I would happen to pull a card from one of my oracle decks that I have, which talks about being here and now, being peaceful, being thankful for what you have, um, possibly um, divine timing, like things that are going to happen at the right time and divine timing. I mean, any number of things. Maybe your dreams and visions may come to the forefront. Your intuition can profoundly influence your mood at this time. Maybe your relationships with females in your life could become more powerful and palpable and intense. It's important not to react too strongly to your feelings, which may overwhelm you. So it's important to slow down, come into a peaceful, centered place inside of yourself. Relax, get grounded, and respond to your feelings as opposed to reacting to them. You may become obsessed with things, going all in a particular direction where you need moderation. Moderation is the key to happiness. Let's just get that straight. It talks about getting one thing and then waiting for another thing to happen, and there's a break between you getting one thing and getting another thing versus getting it all at one time. A greater appreciation and value can be had when you get one thing, then there's a break, then you get another, as opposed to getting it all at one time. There can also be jealousy and violence in relationships. That can be another possibility here. Any intense emotions that you may feel may rise to the surface at this time. There may be family issues that challenge your sense of security, that test your sense of security, emotional security. Maybe there's a conflict in your family. Maybe there's a falling out. Maybe there's a new move to a new house. Whatever it is, these things can make you feel unstable, uncertain, and insecure. So be mindful of those things. This is a time to emotionally empower yourself as well. The moon will sextile the North Node as well on September 14th. So just like the moon conjunct Pluto, emotions, so the moon is moves into Aquarius now, the North Node's in Aries. These two signs are two signs apart. So emotions may come to the forefront. Emotions may be intensified at this time. There may be an amplification of our psychic sensitivities and our imagination may be more awakened. We open the door to our imagination. We open the kundalini to our imagination. This represents an overall heightening of your imagination. Maybe this talks about not losing your individuality, being true to who you are, being your individual self, marching to the beat of your own drum, while participating in your groups, your friends, your social circles, your interactions, your networks, society at large. So it's important that we balance these two things out. It's important to balance your public persona, how you need to express yourself in the world, how you need to be in the world, with your need to be emotionally nurtured, with what you need on an emotional level, what your inner child needs emotionally. All three summer signs, Cancer, Leo, and Virgo, talk about the inner child. Cancer is your emotional needs. Leo is what your inner child wants. And Virgo is what your inner child does. Actually, what does your inner child do to get what you want? What are the detailed steps that you need to take in order to get what you want? You know, what are your routines? What are your steps throughout the day? Really paying attention to the nitty-gritty. That's Virgo energy. So Mars is also going to square the North Node as well. So the moon's sextiling the North Node, Mars is going to square it. So Mars is in Cancer, the North Node's in Aries, and the South Node's in Libra. So there's this T-square between Mars and the nodes of the moon. This can make us feel like we want to act impulsively, like we want to follow a certain path, but we don't know which path to go down. We may decide to follow a certain path, and it may end up putting us in jeopardy, that it may end up putting us in a dire, negative, um, structured situation. Let's just say that. So we may want to follow a certain path to the Baton Rouge, to Paris, to Rome, with all the roads lead back to Rome, or figuratively follow a certain path. We may not have the confidence and clarity just yet to know which path we must go down. You may be distracted by going on your path because of power struggles that you may have with others at this time. It's important to be patient and focus on your path and be open to receiving the gifts of the letters and the interactions that you're receiving from others. Do you have an oracle deck? Do you have several oracle decks? What guidance do you need to be open to receive? Where do you need guidance? Be open to receiving the messages of your oracle card. Be open to receiving the messages that your inner guides tell you. Be open to receiving the messages that your family is sort of telling you, that your friends are telling you, any advice, any suggestions that are in the form of oracles. Basically, the people in your life are oracles, your oracle cards are oracles, your body is an oracle, the world is an oracle. So are you teachable? Are you coachable? Are you open to advice? Are you open to suggestions from others? That's a question to think about. So any kind of square to the north and south node represents skip steps. Like in past life, you skip this step to evolve into the person you need to be, kind of thing. You may be feeling anxious and obsessed with things in your life. There may be the desire to assert yourself, but this desire to assert yourself, this desire to completely go on a certain path and go all into a certain path, and pushing, going on a certain path can lead you to feel emotional burnout because it's a square. This represents emotional burnout. So be mindful of not overdoing it or biting more than you can chew. This is a time to build connections as opposed to disconnections, to build bridges instead of walls. So, is there anyone in your life that you need to build a closer, deeper relationship with? Is there anyone in your life that you need to build a deeper relationship with, more open, and time to reach out to that person, time to interact with that person, and spending some time to get to know that person in your life. This represents compromise. Um, Compromise can be a certain possibility with this, certain values. Shared values. This represents compromising with others, or sharing values with others. This is important that we have disagreements, but these disagreements can actually serve us as opportunities to deeply understand and connect with others on a deeper level, where there's dissonance, where there's disharmony, where there's conflict. This can actually lead to greater connections with others because you're understanding their points of view on a deeper level that may be different than yours. But it's all about finding a sweet spot in the middle. It's all about finding a compromise between what are your beliefs and feelings and what are their beliefs and feelings. And how can you merge the two together to find a happy medium? The moon will also trine the Lilith. So the moon is in Aquarius, the Lilith is in Libra. So this represents creativity from your intuition and raw emotions. Um, So what this can mean is you're feeling more creative, you're feeling more intuitive, you're feeling more emotional. You may have a passion and desire to express yourself, to live your life, to really put yourself out there. You're feeling things on a deeper, more um instinctual level, on a deeper, more primal, more raw level. You may feel more vulnerable than usual. You're feeling the emotions of others at a deeper level as well. Another possibility with this is that your creativity and bravery might be awakened. Both of these two things in tandem might just happen to be awakened. And this also talks about emotional resilience. So being emotionally strong, being emotionally tough to resist whatever changes and challenges come at you, surviving in the desert, being emotionally strong, having thick skin, having a boss that can really help you to be emotionally resilient, this kind of thing. So I did pull an oracle card from the Mystical Shaman Oracle, and the card that I got for September 14th, where I asked the question, what does the collective need to know for September 14th, 2024? And I got the staff in the reversed position, as you can see. So this is the card upright. This is the card reversed. So I'm going to read the essence of the card from the guidebook now, so that you can get a general understanding of what the card entails. Let me just find it here. In the shamanic language of this particular deck. So the staff, this is what it says. The staff is the symbol of authority. It holds the power to temper extremes. The staff helps you find the right course of action, the way of the middle, and aids you to maintain your balance after you begin walking in that direction. Moses carried a serpent's staff through the desert, and with it he could summon the power of nature to heal or call plagues. The staff reminds you of the impermanence of all things and that your authority must come from your deep longing to serve. From my intuitive understanding of this card talks about, just by me looking at the image of the card, it talks about deliberation, being deliberate with your actions, being, forthwith with your actions. It talks about grounding yourself, putting your feet on the earth and becoming more centered, becoming more to the point with your actions, making your life official, stepping into the driver's seat of your own life, leading your own life. Now here is how to work with the energies of September 14th. This is in a way where you are caught between opposing forces. Because opposites exist in life. There are oppositions, high and low, black and white, here and there, comfortable and not so comfortable, green and blue. All of these oppositions that make things as they are. You can't have one thing without having the opposite thing to make that thing as it is. You can't have light without the dark, for instance. Opposing forces are necessary in this way. This is a time to change your limiting beliefs, to examine your beliefs and what beliefs are limiting and what beliefs still resonate with you, and do things to change your limiting beliefs. Maybe journaling about what your feelings tell you of who you are. Maybe changing your beliefs through the exercise of journaling, through the exercise of having conversations, through reading something new, for finding a new thing to learn about that can help you change your beliefs, for finding something else to do that you're moving away from the certain beliefs that you have. This is about what beliefs needs fixing and repairing in your life. What in your life needs to be fixed and repaired? And now's the time to attend to those details that are out of balance. This is also about surrendering to fate, surrendering to your destiny. Um, the very last line of this particular card, it's number 51, says something like this. Let me find it here, because I just want to read this to you, this very, very last line of the card, so that it clarifies what I just said. So let me find it here. It says, let destiny take its course, nudging it slightly along. So allowing the things to unfold in your life, surrendering to what is fated. But you also can co-create your fate. You can also co-create what you want to in your life. You can also shape your own destiny. So that's important to know. So on September 15th, we have the two benefics coming into a beautiful trine aspect. So Venus is trining Jupiter. Now, when these two get together and the most positive of all aspects, which is a trine, this is a time for optimism. We might feel a greater sense of optimism, and we might feel a greater love for ourselves and others. This is a time to relax and express your personality's more welcoming and open and generous side of who you are. This is about opening up to your relationships and being friendly and being social. This is great for socializing. This is also great for any entertainment activities that you're doing. So socializing, um, entertainment activities like throwing a party or going somewhere and doing something fun. Hold on a moment. Ah. So this can also be good for shopping as well. Um, so shopping, spending money, really being very attuned to what you find beautiful in your life. Um, what you find gorgeous in your life. This is great for increasing your wealth, acquiring more possessions that you find beautiful, and that you're attracted to. This is also good for starting and initiating any new relationships in your life. So initiating new relationships, starting new relationships, making friends, doing all these kind of things, expanding your relationship, getting to know the person on a more intimate and profound level. We're also going to say that the moon is going to trine Jupiter. So this is a generous and upbeat energy. This is also an energy that's great for socializing. This is good for any kind of recreational activities or leisure activities. So anything rec-related or leisure-related. This is good for any kind of spiritual practices that give you faith in the future. This is a time where you can find a lot of emotional comfort and support from family and friends. Maybe your family and friends are nurturing you, taking care of you, um, moving you to a place of greater feelings of emotional security. This is where you're really getting a lot of comfort and support from those individuals in your life. This is a time to be open and honest about your feelings, where relationships can have mutual respect and understanding. You may find that you have increased generosity or morality. This is another aspect that's good for increasing your material wealth. This is also good for helping people who are oppressed. This is great for seeking out the company of friends and loved ones. Now, the moon is also going to trine Venus. So this is, yet again, another energy that's good for socializing. This is a harmonious and tender energy, good for making friends. This is a loving and receptive energy, so it's important to be loving and receptive to others and yourself. This is a time where you want to nurture and protect your family, to to nurture and be very loyal toward your family. This is another aspect that's very good for any kind of entertainment and leisure activities. Um, and maybe you want to make your environment more harmonious, making your environment more pretty, more glammed up, more beautiful. So what do you need to change? Maybe you need to put lights in your room. Maybe you need to put paintings up. Maybe you need to put a different light color up. Maybe you need to put clay in your room to make it more artistic. Whatever can make your environment more beautiful. This is a time where you want to open up to the arts, engage in the arts, especially music, maybe learning the fundamentals of music, like I am right now in my life. This is good for relaxing and having fun in general, and indulging without guilt. With guilt-free cards, you're indulging in whatever brings you pleasure and joy, loving yourself as you do it, not shutting yourself down, not saying, "Oh, I can't have this," and you're eating more, you're consuming more to try to cover up that insecurity and that low sense of self-worth that you have. Instead, be present, be grounded, allow yourself to have what you want to have, and you'll find that when you do this, when you love yourself, you will have enough where you feel satisfied, and you will have a greater sense of moderation when engaging in what brings you pleasure, such as eating food at this time. When you allow yourself to eat cake, for instance, maybe one or two pieces of cake, and you're good. You don't need any more because you allow yourself to engage in that. pleasure. Um, and this is a time to nurture others in relationships. So the card that I got for this particular day from the Mystical Shaman is a card I've never received before from this deck, and it is the Smoky Mirror. See that beautiful Buddha right there. Isn't that a gorgeous card? That's something to behold, isn't it? So, on an intuitive level, what I picked up is that certain things may be unclear at this time. You may not see all the details of things. You may not see things for what they actually are. And it may be difficult to get to a state of peace. There is the clear, as you can see, at the top level of the card, and then there's the unclear, hence the bottom level of the card. So there's this conflict here between what is clear and what is unclear. So this talks about seeing beyond just yourself, seeing beyond, the light that's suction cupped onto the end of your nose, seeing beyond just yourself, your ego, your experiences, etc., and opening up to the world around you, opening up to the environment of what's occurring in your life around you. There lies an interconnected world where events are orchestrated with spirit. We are all interconnected with each other. That's something really, really important to know. We're all connected. We're all one. And there's a greater source at play here. There's spirit that orchestrates people, places, and situations to occur in our lives at the perfect time that they are meant to happen in our lives. People come into our lives to teach us lessons. And they are sort of mirroring what are our subconscious spirits and our personality and the lessons that we need to learn. They're showing us what we need to learn. So, certain events are orchestrated by spirit. The divine, the invisible forces, are sort of orchestrating life, so we need to trust the invisible. No matter what current conditions the world reflects, your beauty is celebrated. All aspects of your human journey is celebrated. The good and the bad, the good and the ugly, the courage and the fear, the thin and the thick, the white and the black, the pen and the pencil. All of these types of things are celebrated. So it's time to celebrate all your experiences, even the bad ones, to be thankful for even the bad experiences, to recognize the value of your negative experiences in life that you've had. It's important to also know that some things in life are meant to be a mystery, that are meant to be uncloaked, that are not meant to be revealed to you at a certain time, that you're not getting clarity on certain things at a certain time. So it's about trusting the mystery of life, surrendering to the mystery of life. There's actually a card in the Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. I think it's Whale Spirit, Trust the Great Mystery. And this is the card for the Mystical Shaman Oracle. So it's important to surrender and trust the mystery of life, to be curious, like, I wonder what's going to happen. I'm open to curiosity. I'm open to whatever the universe brings me. These kind of things have to be orchestrated at this time. All right, everybody, that is your astrology and oracle reading for these couple of days. Let me know what you liked in this video, and please subscribe if you like this content so that you never miss any uploads from me. Bye for now, everybody.